This is how I'm gonna do my hair.
Learning from the best. Why you got your passport out? Where are you going? You about to flee the scene?
I don't know what my ID is. I don't know what my driver's license is.
What am I looking at? Oh my goodness. Well, that's quite the, that's one way to do it. I need more plants.
Okay, so what I was thinking is
There's our backyard. I need a leaf blower too.
No, that's what I
Our
was thinking.
pond is full of leaves right now. It's
Is we
pissing me off.
put shelves right there, or we just put a bunch of plants right there? What do you think of that? What do you think? Stop getting close to me. God.
I think this space needs the most love. It needs like a ladder or like a towel rack or some kind of plants or something. I don't know.
Well, what do you think of that?
Your dress is cute. I agree. Well, last time you wore this, Malachi was inside of your stomach.
Yep. I think I was like 7 months pregnant.
That's crazy. Missing the garden. Same, dude. Same.
Who are you talking to?
Just someone in the comments said that, and can't tell you how much. I got a hole in my heart. So I'm missing the garden. You know when you get a pimple or you're about to get a pimple?
Scoot over.
It's almost worse than having
No, I want you to stay here. I just want you to scoot over.
I'm scooting over. It's almost worse than having an actual pimple. I got one coming in, and it's like...
Does anybody's heart ever skip a beat? Like you feel like you can't breathe for a second, or am I dying?
I was reading and watching and just observing over the whole coronavirus pandemic how it's been affecting people mentally and like the whole anxiety side of things, and how a lot of the healthcare workers are saying people are coming in and
this is what I use for my hair,
and they're treating severe anxiety first, because people are just anxious and they don't know, they're out of tune with what's happening in their body, and if they feel like something's wrong, how can you not be anxious in today's climate with what they're telling us on the news and stuff? So that's been something that, you know, no one's been talking about, the whole mental health of everything, and yeah, it's just nuts to see unfold, because even us, like, I've had so many days where I'm like, are we gonna, like earlier, like months ago, you know, where we were feeling bad, and you're just like, am I gonna die? Like, you know, so to go back to what you're saying, yeah, I think everyone's felt a little bit.
No, I literally, my heart skips a beat sometimes. And is that normal?
Yeah.
You guys, when I had really bad anxiety, what was I saying? I forgot what I was gonna say. I literally forgot what I was gonna say. Miss Jessie's curls. What was I gonna say about my anxiety?
You're also dealing with memory loss.
Anxiety. When I had anxiety.
What's the best animated movie? Come on, comments. Let me see it. Best animated movie. There's so many good ones. Monsters Inc.'s top 5 for sure.
I don't think the second Monsters Inc.
No one asked.
Okay.
No one asked. I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
Iron Giant. There's all the old
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Okay, so when I had really bad anxiety, I would overanalyze my body, and I would just like, I would self-diagnose myself with all these other problems that I thought that I had, because
you were a hypochondriac.
Yeah, well, I still am a little bit because my anxiety was so bad.
If you think something's wrong with you, that is a whole bad feeling in itself.
I was like making myself sick, and I would go on Google, and I would literally just Google the craziest things.
You weren't eating right. You weren't drinking enough water.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Malachi was what, a month old in your stomach?
Yep. And I would go, I literally went to the hospital like 3 times because I literally thought I was dying.
Are those pearls? What are these?
But then I had to realize that I was in a cycle, and that was making it worse. Like I wouldn't eat and I wouldn't sleep, and so then that was adding to my anxiety. So then I just had to realize that I was literally killing myself by just overthinking everything.
Tell me the time you went to go draw blood and they just kept poking into your arm.
And
missing your vein and just stabbing you with that thing.
And okay, let me talk about how I first had my first panic attack. So before I had
to take this in a whole different direction. Me, what's your favorite animated movie, guys? Taylor.
Okay, before I had anxiety, I had like social anxiety. And then one day when I first got pregnant, I had a miscarriage a month before I got pregnant. So like my hormones were already out of whack. So one day I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt like I was having a heart attack. And I was like, what the heck? I felt like I was like off of this earth. And I felt so weird. And it was like 2 hours at 1 a.m. I was just walking in circles. And then I took a shot because I was like, maybe that will make me feel better. So I took a shot and then I started puking. And then I finally woke up Nash and then he's like, just breathe, just breathe.
This is at like, what, 4 in the morning?
Yeah, it was like 2, 3 in the morning. And so then I took CBD and that helped me. And then since I never had a panic attack before, I kept on having panic attacks because I was so scared that I was going to feel that feeling again. And so then each day I was just stressed out thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel this way. And then I started being so anxious that I was scared to sleep because I thought I was going to die from my sleep. And yeah, so then it just was bad for like months. I like lost a bunch of hair in the back of my head because I had such bad anxiety. But then I realized that I was pregnant. And then I had to get out of the cycle because I was literally self-sabotaging myself. And
moral of the story, you're your own worst enemy and your own best friend, and that is the truest thing ever.
But before I had anxiety, I thought like when people said, okay, if you have anxiety, just breathe, just do all these things. And I thought like, oh, why don't people with anxiety like just do those simple things? But when you have anxiety, you really think that like you can't get out of it. And
yeah, at first, like when they very first started, I was like, oh, just think positive. Like just don't feel like that, don't think like that, and like it's an impossible thing to ask or something.
And then like nobody really understands how you feel, so then you feel even more crazy because you're like, no, I really feel this way. But then it is like a psychosomatic thing. I think like you just get in the cycle of feeling so horrible.
Moral of the story:
I need to brush my teeth.
manifest positive.
What I think you should do.
Energy.
Okay, bye.
It's 11:30, boy. We gotta go.
Okay, 11:30. So, when I started eating more right, sleeping good, and then I started taking vitamins, and then I just got myself out of the cycle.
Are you talking about?
By like doing more things, and actually, like I started putting myself like self-isolating myself, and I started just doing normal things again, and just like basically tricking myself into thinking everything was normal. And I still sometimes get anxiety, but then I have to like just remind myself I'm okay.
Just walks away. Mic drop. Alright, well, thank you for tuning into my live. Really appreciate you guys coming and seeing what a nice Monday morning is like. Malachi's about to fall asleep. Can you say hi? You gonna hold the phone? Oh, you dropped it. Here. Say hi. We're doing call and response. It's not really working right now. Nope. Alright, sign off.
Bye.